Okay, so this is a video on how to make your own prayer rug, or a tiny little rug, enough just to fit one human on it. So at Fabricland, which is a great place for home decor, I bought this sturdy multi-purpose, I actually don't know what this is called, but it's by the living outdoor section, and it's like a type of kind of like the backing of a rug, and it was only for $5 a meter on discount, and pretty much they gave me the entire bit for really cheap. Next, I went for the feel of it and the underlying layers like this. So I pretty much just, I looked at the pattern and I absolutely loved it, and I would love to pray on this, and it's a good sort of thick upholstery fabric. You can choose whatever fabric you like. Now to finish off the ends, I'm going to be sewing on this lovely ending thing, which is only $1.50 a meter, I think. So I bought 2 meters of that. This I bought only a meter of it, and it pretty much makes 2 prayer rugs. What you also need is some thread, which I got here. It's like a matching thread from Gutermann, is the best kind, so it's highly recommended, and it went for about $4.50, I think, including my Fabricland discount. And you'll need a size 14 or 16 needle. This came in a universal pack for $3, and I'm assuming it works for my machine. If not, you can always return it as well. And of course, your handy dandy scissors. Now, if you don't have scissors, these went for $10.99, the fabric sewing section at Zellers. But if not, there's also this amazing rotary cutter. Now, be careful. Kids have been known to cut themselves on this, and so do adults. This is a titanium Westcott, and it's interesting. Fabricland sells this thing for $40, but this little guy was only $14.69 at Zellers. I know, amazing. And then I also bought at my local university bookstore a folding mat that is self-healing, that I'm able to cut on as well. But I will not be using that today because I am just a tiny bit scared of these things, and I'd rather just use plain old scissors. But I'll definitely show that another time. So basically right now I'm going to cut out my fabric to whatever size that you're looking for, that fits your body and fits you. And basically I'll be looking to sew this onto the back of this. For the sides, I'm probably just going to use the fray stop glue that I've shown in my earlier video, and then I will simply, for this, I will stitch this on. So I'm expecting this will only take a few hours, inshallah, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so a great way to test if this is the right size is to imagine yourself praying on this, and if it is big enough for you, then it's fine. I'm probably going to trim this right down to exactly what you see here. And then I will likely, actually, for the backing, this stuff here, I'm probably going to cut it the same size and actually do a stitch straight down, just to obviously adhere it. And then actually what I might do is fold the fabric over the backing of that, and then stitch it right across to prevent any fray. And then on the back of it, what I probably will do is put the fray stop glue there, because the fray stop does tend to discolor, but this way, if it's on the underside, this amazing stuff here, if it's on the other side, and I can let it dry, flipped on the other side for 30 minutes, it should be pretty much done. Now, this is quite big. Obviously, if you're doing one for kids, you can make it a lot smaller. Oh my gosh, you can have like matching rugs for your entire family. Anyways, inshallah khair, and I think it'd be a great gift for people too, something very, very unique, especially come Ramadan, inshallah khair. Anyways, let's see how it goes. Alrighty, so I went ahead and cut the length, and I pretty much just, I didn't really use a ruler, which I actually need to go buy. It was actually on sale. I need to go buy a ruler so I can use the rotary cutter. There was a metal ruler that was on sale for like $3, and I didn't grab it the other day because it looked kind of dangerous, but sword-like, but I should definitely grab that next time I'm in, which is probably tomorrow, because I went again today and forgot the bucket on once again. Anyways, I'm going to be, if you notice, I actually cut this multi-purpose netting. I'm calling it netting. I have no idea what it's called. I think it'd be used for tote bags and like a whole bunch of other stuff. Anyways, I cut this slightly smaller than the rest of the fabric so that I can actually basically hem it over. So, ooh, that looks nice, mashallah. Sew it, and then these frayed lovely ends, after I've actually hemmed it over, I actually should have left more at the end. I didn't think about that. Basically when I pull it over, I'm going to use the fray stop all around the four edges. You could do a double hem, but then you're using just as much, thread and time, which I don't have a lot of these days. So I'm going to go ahead, pin all of these, stitch. I can definitely iron it down, do the fray stop, which actually requires 15 to 30 minutes to dry. And then at the very end, I will add these little guys here, and I'll have this beautiful part towards the front and only at the top ends, inshallah khair. Oh, right, and I'll be using the needle 16, don't forget that, because the regular needling machine isn't meant for lightweight, and this is quite heavy duty. So I'll definitely probably using the 16 or 14, inshallah. Alrighty, so I went ahead and pinned the sides. Now the reason why I didn't do this top part was because I actually ran out of pins. Yeah, I need to buy more. But what I did is if you find the edges are lacking enough hem, I actually just trimmed a bit of this off. So here's the garbage. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually lightly on medium to high iron down these hems so that it's a lot easier to actually sew along. And then after that I'm going to put the fray stop just right along here, inshallah. Now you can always just, if you don't have fray stop, you can just do a double hem where you sew that and then you tuck it over and then sew it again like that, which will probably be actually a lot nicer of a finish than what I'm doing. Actually, maybe I should do that. Never mind, I'm too lazy to. Okay. What was the other thing? Right. If you don't have a sewing machine, you actually can do this by hand. It just takes a lot longer. So, I mean, if you can always basically do what I'm going to do with a sewing machine. The stitch, which would be A2, and don't forget the needle, and of course that you need to wind your bobbin with this thread as well. Okay, to change the needle, I actually used the little metal thing, this thing here. I used, I guess you could do something a lot more professional than what I did. Where's the little guy? Okay, I used this thing here, which is actually probably not appropriate. Anyways, I used that to basically turn this count this way to actually be able to loosen the needle down and the round parts facing the front. And then to tighten it, basically just not too tight, but snug enough. Okay, right there. And that's going to be the 16 needle. I could use a 14 needle, but 16 works just as well, I think. I know the lady said 14, but I'm worried that with the hemming that the fabric might be a little thick. And the thing is, the thicker the fabric, sometimes the bigger the needle you need. Anyways, I went ahead and I also put the thread through and I created, where's my little bobbin? My little bobbin is here. So as you probably recall, to actually thread your fabric, it's going to be like a P, like this again. You're going to pop that little guy through like that. Okay. There's instructions here, but basically it's going to be, I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Under, over that way. I'm going to go ahead and thread the needle. Sorry, it's kind of hard to adjust the camera and steer at the same time. I'm just going to push this lever down a bit so that I can actually thread this properly with my left hand. Ooh, there we go. Great. Just move that. Okay. All right. So I threaded that through. That's great. Okay. So basically, to bring this bobbin thread up through here, you're going to turn your knob, your little knob right here. You're going to turn it towards you, and that's going to pick up that thread. Okay. Oh, if you don't drop it first. Whoops. It's too short. Whoops. That's not a good example. Okay, don't just do what I did, which was totally the incorrect way. Okay, so if that happens, do be careful. Now, it's interesting, kids really love sewing machines for some reason. So my one friend, she can't sew anymore on her child because he'll easily stick his fingers underneath there. Okay, so you have a lot of tail at the end there. Okay, we're gonna do this again. All right, we're gonna drop down the needle, pick it up. Great. That should catch. Gonna tuck that through. Great. So now you can sort of see that thread behind here. I'm gonna whisk that through, and there you go. Ta-da! Okay, that was really fun. And we're going to stick the little bobbin cover back over. The stitch is going to be 2 and A. The tension, I'm gonna leave it at 4. I really don't know much about tension. It's a little bit confusing for me. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing with the hem, with the bigger part of the fabric to the left of me as I go along, steady and whatever goes in. Okay, so just to show you an example, the fabric is on the left. The great thing about this needle is it totally goes through. And then basically you're just sewing along. And I am guiding it with my right hand, but I need to use both hands to guide this top left portion along nicely as well. But you kind of can get the picture. And in terms of the finished part, you can sort of see that stitching there, and be using the fray stop for the ends as well. Okay, so I just want to show you, obviously with fabric, it's just as much about your cutting. Oh, my lovely cutting. If I used a rotary cutter and I had a ruler, it'd be a lot straighter, more professional. Obviously, if I was giving this as a gift, I would definitely consider that. And obviously doing a double hem so that these frayed ends were actually tucked in, it looked even more professional. But since I'm in a rush and my use of this is as of tomorrow, I'm trying to get through this quickly. Now, obviously when you have any pins here, you want to take them out. You don't want to wait too long. And as I'm going along here, I'm kind of pulling it and kind of just letting it kind of tuck in nicely while letting it naturally kind of go through as well. Okay, now for the top part, I decided that what I probably should do is actually, if you've seen here, I'm going to roll it over onto itself and pin it like that so that I'm still using only one straight stitch, but it'll be a nicer finish, which I could have actually done to the sides. So it's something you may want to consider to give it that nice look to it, inshallah. Without the frayed ends. You probably could still put on the fray stop before you go ahead and tuck it in, or just simply tuck it in, and that in itself would stop the fray. Alrighty, so all the the ends have been hemmed. I probably would have used a looser stitch, because as you can tell, when the stitches are tight and the tension is tight, or even just the stitches, it's actually bubbling a bit. So had it been a looser stitch, which basically could have been, I don't know, a different stitch, it probably would have bubbled a lot less. As you can see, it's kind of bubbling there, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pin this right about like that. So I'm gonna pin it right about like that. I'm gonna go ahead and then straight stitch right across. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've pinned it. So again, I would probably do this better next time by longer stitching it. And then I just thought of a gift idea where you can do his and her prayer rugs, where the guys is like bigger and the girls is like tinier. Oh, and then you could do like smaller ones for kids and stuff, inshallah head. And just a quick thing is that for the very ends, I left a bit of extra just in case I pinned it too tightly. And I guess the key with good stitching is to make sure that that the cut, the pinning, the ironing, the stitching, everything is done well. For instance, this stitching was a bit bubbly. And oh right, I had an idea where I was gonna make a mini version of this, like a small little one that I could like hang on my door to show that I'm praying, inshallah. Because one of my bosses was like, how do we know if you're praying? Put a sign up. And I think it'd be so cute to have like a little hanging, little prayer rug on your door, inshallah. Anyways, I might do that, just might, if they have a sense of humor, which I'm sure they do. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and now stitch this with a straight stitch, and then it'll be done. Alrighty, so it is done. What you see is I have done the fray stop, and it kind of seams right through, but basically underneath I just glued that part. I'm actually planning, inshallah, that a much smaller and of course different fabric version of these prayer mats will be available to converts in Canada, inshallah khairan. So if you would like your own prayer mat and you're a convert or revert or new Muslim to Islam, please email me your address, and inshallah I'll send you one. You can specify if you want small, medium, or large. I'll probably make them about medium. This is a bit bigger than I would like. It's really big. I'll probably make it, I don't know, a bit smaller than this for sure. But anyways, hope you enjoy.